good. We're going to make proper cash out of that. He tried to reshort it, but he didn't want to chase it, because he's got a 35. He actually said, let's cover, because he goes, they'll probably come and squeeze in the front.
All right, good morning, everyone. Let's get going here. All right, some exciting action finally. Last night we had S&P that made a huge reversal last night. I think we spiked up 20 points on the S&P future, initially on the back of Bernanke's comments that saying that they're not going to taper, and then later those comments were, I guess, kind of erased once the rest of the Fed members had kind of said that they thought that they could exit as early as June. So we had a huge reversal there, almost 40 points from the high to the lowest point, and just an amazing move. I think that it was important because it also, it gave us kind of a catalyst to have this market actually turn around, and you're seeing follow through on it on the back of it this morning. You see this morning in Asia, everything is in the red as of this moment. I think the Japanese index is actually down 7%. In fact, they halted the Nikkei futures a couple times now. You're seeing an unwind in the Japanese yen of almost 200 basis points overnight. We're looking at S&P futures down 18 points. We're looking at European bourses opening down close to 2%. So this is a real move, a real reversal, and it'll be interesting to see the action throughout the day today. It is a little bit disappointing that we're going to open up down so much, but very important nonetheless. So, the BOJ is also today injecting 2 trillion yen in the market in order to kind of stem the volatility. So there's a lot of interesting things going on at the moment. We also had earnings this morning out of say breweries and Investec. The breweries came in; they had a small miss on the EBITDA numbers on the top line. They were expecting $6.46 billion. They came in at 6.42. The headlines earnings per share were in line, and the dividend per share was in line. And Investec missed on the earnings per share number, came in as slightly better on dividend per share, and slightly or in line on NAV per share. I think what's interesting to note with this Investec, yesterday we did close on recent highs, so that really maybe makes it for an interesting play this morning. I would say that these headline earnings per share are probably greatly affected by the weakness in the rand. Obviously, they're reporting in pounds here, and majority of their business coming out of South Africa. I would say that they were hugely adversely affected by the rand. So very something to keep an eye on. The business day also cited an unidentified person on the Adcock bid. We have broker upgrades today, or upgrades and downgrades. Lewis rated hold at Deutsche Bank, target price $70, and Anglo's was cut to hold versus buy at Jefferies. All right, market data out today. We had Chinese flash PMI numbers that added a little fuel to the fire this morning on the pullback. 49.6, which actually signals contraction. So that's obviously another bearish factor that's going into today's action. We have European PMI across the region. We have Italian retail sales. We've got UK first quarter GDP. U.S. initial jobless claims, which is going to be our big number. We've also got local rates decision, which, guys can say whatever they want. I really don't think that there's any possibility of them cutting rates today. We're looking at a 15% drop in the rand. Inflation still at 5.9%. I just don't see how they could possibly do it. It would be really, really, really flirting with danger for them to make a move like that. So very important to take cognizance of that. I don't think the market is still factoring in a rate cut, but there may be a small group of people that are thinking that there's a rate cut coming. And then later in the States, we also have new home sales and house price index. Okay, so let's jump into the maps real quick. All right, first thing we'll show here is the S&P 500, and this is the big one we've been waiting for. You can see there. We'll actually take it up to 5 days so you can see it more clearly. And you can see the key reversal that we made yesterday. I mean, here's the previous day. You can see there. We had a new high that we made, new all-time high in the S&P made yesterday, and then we reversed well below the prior day's lows and closed below those days' lows. So it's incredibly important out of the S&P, that reversal. It's a monster move on the S&P. It's something we need to that probably will signal a nice correction over the next coming period. Okay, this is the pound rand, which really broke out the last day and a half have been or 2 days have been really flirting with it. We broke below these levels pretty definitely this morning. Pretty definitively this morning. I think we could have a significantly lower target out of the rand pound here. So we need to keep an eye on this. I mean, the rand's obviously blowing out to the downside here. So I think there's no reason why this can't really move a whole nother rand against us. All right, let's look at Kumba. Kumba, I wanted to show here, I think this thing's getting quite ripe for a reversal. If you look here from the kind of top to the bottom end of this trend, we're getting very close to that 61% retracement, which would be at 547 on Kumba. So we're right in that neighborhood there to make a real reversal in Kumba. I think it could be an opportunity if we can pop its head up over the next day or two. Keep an eye on that. Mr. Price, making a flag pattern kind of to the upside here. I know they had earnings and everything yesterday. Something to watch closely today. If we do start to trade a little bit below, I would say if we get below 27, then you maybe have to jump off of this one and wait for the right place to jump in. But if we can manage to hold this 127 level in Mr. Price, I think we end up pushing higher out of this flag pattern, essentially on good results yesterday. Another retailer we'll show here is Steinhoff. Steinhoff pattern's still looking quite bearish. We did pop above this little level here at around 2280. You can see there we closed yesterday right at 23. But if we drop below 2280 again, I mean from the breakdown here, I really think that we could potentially have a good $1.50 to the downside in Steinhoff. Exaro, another one today, could possibly play off the reversal, testing right at trend line at the close of yesterday. This has been a really definitive downturn since kind of middle of February, and I think you got to watch this one very closely because it's been pulling back. Obviously, you can see there consistently. I think you got to go with the trend on these kind of plays. So Exaro, I think, could move down over the next few sessions. And the last one I'm going to show is Vodacom, which actually kind of broke out from the downside here. This chart, which had been looking quite bearish, starting to look less bearish. I really think this thing's kind of consolidated as we push back up to about 114. We've tried to break down a couple times yesterday. We were trading about 112.25 at one point. We bounced up again yesterday, and I think if we break out of the top side of this channel, which is about 1650, 1670. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to actually play the long side from here. So even though I'm not fundamentally bullish on these things, it's starting to look a little bit better technically. So keep an eye on those for today. Be careful out there today, guys. There's going to be some big moves out there. Maybe play it a little bit less size and be patient for opportunities. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.